Because we're going to In-N-Out after this, and I
know that's the only reason Rachel
100%.
is on the podcast.
100%. That's why.
No, we're gonna break. Seriously though, honestly, we're gonna break Mikey in today with some Flying Dutchman. He's never had them before, so today's gonna be his first day with some Flying Dutchman from In-N-Out.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
Pretty sure that's the only reason Mike's here today too.
Early.
You know how to get us to early. You knew how to get us motivated.
Mike's like, what time you want to start? I'm like, figuring out like what time we're gonna be here, work out before, and then he's like, well, what time's In-N-Out open? And I can see him like running the calculations of setup and breakdown time for the podcast and filming time and like when we're actually gonna get the In-N-Out. Yep. So anyways,
what time it opens?
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah, I got to calculate what time it opens.
Yeah, I know where your head's at, but it's okay.
I'll get there right when it opens, don't you worry.
Yeah, Rachel's on it, man.
Yep,
she's on it.
I'm on it.
Have you ever been order number 1 at In-N-Out?
I have not.
I have twice in the last 2 months.
Okay, so, and we're the ones that are fat? Like, we're the ones that...
One of them was on my trip down to see my parents, right? So, like, I'm hungry, I'm driving. I'm like, ooh, In-N-Out opens at 10.
Mike's face right now is amazing.
He's kind of impressed. So I'm driving.
Like a kid hearing a story. I'm like...
He is. Oh. I was like, he is so intense.
So I'm driving, and I'm coming up on Riverside, and I'm like, oh, In-N-Out opens, and like... Probably within like 2 minutes, I saw the In-N-Out sign. I'm like, yeah, I mean, I could gas up here, guys. Like we don't have to wait. Pulled up in the drive-thru. Boom.
Oh, in the drive-thru you were number 1?
I was I was the first person at In-N-Out that I was pretty happy.
That's pretty impressive because the drive-thru here is like 30
insane.
Cars. It's 30 cars deep. Like you just
Always.
go in, you go inside, and there's no one in there.
Right.
Like I think that people think that only the drive-thru open, and the drive-thru is the only. thing open.
Don't. Don't give away the secrets, man.
Do they do the 2 lanes here for
I
the?
don't think so. No.
So in San Leandro, the In-N-Out, they just passed where it opens up. Where it's like singled out and it's a single file. It splits into 2.
Oh, that's like the McDonald's by my house does that. Is that what that?
So like you have to eventually merge
because they have 2 people out there, on foot.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, you eventually merge. They go, okay, go behind that car.
I'd cut in front of somebody.
Gotcha.
And then I bust out my gold pass.
Oh snap! Oh. Okay.
They're like, let the man through. Let the man through.
Gold pass, you say?
Yeah.
You can't use your McDonald's gold pass for anything.
That's right. Like,
got him.
golden arrows, golden arches.
Yeah, I mean, it's all the same, right?
Man,
not really. Come on, it's not. It's nowhere near it. Yeah, what else? Manly movies. We were talking about manly movies.
I was going to say, before that, Eminem's new album came out, and that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
The whole thing is great. So
yeah, no, it's good. It's, what was that? A little over a week ago, I was telling Rachel, she's like, what? I didn't know he was going to release one. And so, yeah, I download it and I listened to it. I think I listened to it all the way through before you even came in that next day.
Yeah, you did.
And,
you had known them all.
And I was like, dude, you're going to like this. It's cool. It's like that first one that I can listen to. I love Eminem, right? And Rachel's the same, right? But I swear it's been years since I've been able to just put on an album of his and just listen to it the whole way through I'm doing this and I'm into it and it's cool. It's cool. And I think with a lot of the beats, it sounds like Dre was a little bit more involved on this. Okay. Yeah. So you get a little bit more of the old school and he's not as like, don't get me wrong, he's still angry, but he's not as like angry, like just pissed at the world. It's like,
he's not the depressed angry.
Yeah, no, it's just more fun, poking fun, just like, awesome. Yeah, so it's cool. Anyways, so listening to that, Mike and I were talking about manly movies this morning.
Tombstone.
So
for me, it was movies that you see on TV and you just have to stop channel surfing. You just stop it right there.
Yeah,
you can jump in at any part.
See, you missed the conversation.
I know.
And it was, there's a lot of them, but Tombstone is because I quoted Tombstone this morning and Rachel kind of looked at me funny because it was like a weird, obscure quote from it, and she's like,
Because
"What the hell are you talking
he never
about?"
says weird, obscure quotes from movies ever.
All the time. I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, like Tombstone. You said Goodfellas. Casino, Godfather, Donnie Brasco. I mean, what else was I saying? What was I
Well,
throwing?
for me, it was Shawshank.
Shawshank.
Oh,
That's
Shawshank.
such
That's
a
Sean's
good
favorite
movie.
Yeah,
That's such a good movie.
Shawshank's a good one.
Red Dawn, the original Red Dawn, and Red Dawn's like, it's kind of one of those like '80s. I don't even want to call it a B movie, but it was like, because it's got a lot of people in it, right? But it's just kind of a cult following to it, and they remade it like, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago, and it's like I watched about 5 minutes of the remake. I'm like, this is not anywhere near the original. Like, get out of here.
So, I mean, with the cult following in movies like that, do they get pissed with the remakes, or do
I'm
they
mad.
like it? Yeah, right?
I'm part of the cult. I'm pissed.
Apparently,
Yeah.
I'm pissed.
You know what I mean? Like, if you love it that much.
Yeah. I mean, I'm mad about it.
I've never even
Like,
heard of Red Dawn.
I'm looking
so-
it up.
You should.
It would-
1984.
I've seen it all. You see
I'm
the
almost positive it came out in 84.
movie cover, but I don't think I've watched it.
85, 86. I don't know.
84.
Yeah, see? Look at that. Anyways, Outsiders.
Oh, yeah,
Outsiders is
Outsiders.
another one of my
Outsiders.
favorites.
Ooh, Roadhouse.
Oh,
Roadhouse.
Dalton. Dalton.
Is that where that came from?
No,
Oh,
God,
I don't know. No.
I named my son after Patrick Swayze's character in the movie Roadhouse.
Well, Billy, my brother-in-law.
Oh, shit.
Dallas, Outsiders. That's his oldest son.
Dally.
Tyler,
Yeah.
Fight Club.
Yeah.
Those are
Tyler
pretty-
Durden.
Those are pretty badass names.
Hey, now Fight Club's another one. Like,
It's a good one.
Yeah. But yeah,
all these movies, Reservoir Dogs. We were talking about that too.
Yeah.
All these movies, like I get to watch like 10 minutes of them right now because I have a 9-year-old, right? So it's like,
That didn't grow up.
10 minutes to watch TV. The kid's not around.
Yeah.
Find something that's like just like, come on, I got to refill the manliness just a little bit.
And then he's just standing there. You're like, oh,
Then he walks downstairs. I'm like, oh look, SpongeBob. Yeah. Anyways, we're way off track.
Point Break. Remember that?
Point Break's a good one too. Now, hey, you're looking stuff up over there. Come
Well,
on,
no,
man.
It's I haven't clicked anything other than the initial search for Red Dawn. It
Yeah.
just has like a couple other.
I know-
Because you got into Swayze movies, that's why.
Yeah, it puts more like this
Yeah.
on
I've never seen
IMDb.
Point Break either.
Oh, Point
But
Break's
that-
a good one. They remade that
That's the
too.
one- I remember
Yeah,
you
they
guys
did.
talk about that too.
Yeah.
That wasn't a good remake, was it?
Yeah.
Or was
Utah, give me 2.
That's why.
Meatball
That's why I
subs.
know about it because you say that all the time.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Johnny Utah, man. That's Keanu Reeves. Anyways, today we're gonna talk about like legit things.
Yeah. In other news.
other than to sit here and
That's all
name.
the time we have, actually.
You got an hour before In and
We're,
Out.
we're,
okay?
we're gonna sit here and just talk movies until In and Out opens. No, today we're gonna talk about like working out and stuff. So we're gonna talk about lifting weights and how it's awesome.
Pretty fun.
And we're gonna let Rachel talk a lot today. Maybe we'll censor you at some
Yeah, I
point.
was gonna say, I'll ramble.
No, we're talking about lifting today and why that should be your main focus. Like when you're trying to get in shape, right? Is resistance training, picking things up and setting them down in all different sorts of ways, and the benefits of doing that, and especially the benefits of doing it for women. Because that's for so many women. I see it. And I've seen it over the years of women coming to the gym and, it's that I don't want to get bulky. I don't want to lift weights. I'm scared to lift weights. And it's like, ladies, we have so much to get into here. Rachel, we'll use Rachel as an example. Most of you guys have heard her story before, and I'll let her kind of tell it in just a sec. But like of where she started, what she thought she wanted to do, what we brainwashed her to do.
Yeah, right.
and how her goals kind of changed, and she, it just kind of opened her eyes to different things. So, Rach, I'm going to let you kind of take over for a minute and just kind of go down that avenue of how you've progressed and the things that you have done. Okay?
Okay. Well, I mean, so almost 7 years now that I walked in here to work out with you. And I think I maybe weighed like 135 pounds and like maybe weighed 135 pounds. I was a soccer player, so I had some like leg muscle, but nothing was like defined or anything, right? But my upper body was like, ooh. so dang.
Like how?
It's kind of true. I was gonna make fun of her. I'm like, well, yeah, it's kind of right.
So I walked in and my brother-in-law was the one who, was coming here. And so I fill out the waiver to work out, and on there it says like, what's your goal? And I literally put to lose weight for my wedding, because I was getting married, I think that was in February, March, and I was going to be getting married in October. So like I said, I was just
April. It was April, because we'd been open for a month.
Something like that. Okay. So, I was the typical girl. Like, again, I played soccer and I did well with that, but no one ever taught us anything about, like weight training or anything, or that if you have muscle on your body, you can actually look better. You won't, you know how damn hard it is to get bulky? Like, first of all, like, and that was actually never one of the things I ever thought about. I didn't know a single thing about weights. Like, no one had ever thought to taught me. And I played soccer through Division I college, and no one did weights.
Not one coach?
Not one.
Just running then.
Just running. And I mean, we did like the ladder work, like foot.
Speed and agility stuff.
Yeah, things like that. Sometimes we did some sit-ups. I mean, I don't even remember really doing much of anything other than just sprints. I could sprint forever, and it wasn't on hills. It wasn't, it was like the length of the field and like some liners. Maybe they made us go for like a 2-mile run. And that was not even it. So that's all I did with soccer. And then other than that, on the girls' side of, being in high school and, just wanting to look good and everything, was don't eat and run your ass off. Right. So that's on the flip side. When I wasn't playing, I did that so I could look good, or what I thought looked good. So coming in here, I mean, I think I tried to do a push-up, or so. You just like,
honestly, like I can, it's funny because I have a pretty good memory of people's workouts, right? And everybody always kind of laughs about it, whatever. But like, I remember weights people use. I remember weights people use when they first started. I remember them doing certain movements. Like, I have a pretty good memory, and I legit remember Rachel trying to do 5 push-ups from her knees, and just oh my God, like trying to stretch it out, like it being rough.
Yeah.
It being rough.
Well, and so, and thinking back, like, I think in junior high, they made us do some stuff like that, right? Like, do you guys remember those things that you had to do the stretch?
Those tests?
Sit
Yeah, they had that
reach.
fitness test.
Sit and
So we
reach.
did like that. I think you might had it. We did some sit-up. I don't even remember. But even in high school, like for girls, there was, when I went, there was no weight training class. You could pick different classes, like electives or whatever. That was not an option. It was like the football team had weight training classes, and that was it. And so
That's funny, because like at our school, so when I was in high school, they didn't have co-ed PE. They had separated it at my school.
Okay.
So you had guys PE, you had girls PE. But each class, you'd rotate like what you did. So like say I had PE for the year, and you would do like, I think it was like 6-week units or 8-week units. So like one of them, like 8 weeks of basketball or 6 weeks of basketball. The next 6 weeks, it was weight training. That was one of the things. It didn't matter, boys class, girls class, whatever. So that's funny. Anyways, go ahead.
we did badminton.
I think we did badminton one year
Totally
too.
did badminton.
We did handball, but it was like, dude, ours was like, like handball,
Yeah.
but it wasn't like grab and throw handball. Like, we had to smack the ball with a tennis ball, like against a wall. And we had this auxiliary gym, and it was the wrestling gym, right? So in the middle of it, it had rolled up wrestling mats. Dude, this got violent. Like, because you'd have 4 people to a court and you're playing doubles. Like, we would like just start hitting it with, most of my class was the football players, but we'd just start like knocking each other into walls. Like, it was so much fun.
Yeah.
We played full contact rugby with Coach I, but we were the only class who did that.
I was going to say, was that, so they didn't separate ours. Ours wasn't co-ed, ours was co-ed. Mm-hmm. I remember my freshman year in high school, I had swimming at 7:45 in the morning with like all the guys. Like, again, want to talk about like what you're supposed to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like starting like a bad body image kind of at that same, like what are you going to think? Like, so nothing ever really helped us. I feel like at least my age group, there was no direction. It just kind of, models, everything you saw on magazines, TV, everything was just skinny. You're supposed to be skinny, don't eat, and that's it. And then I come here and I'm super competitive. So like, I mean, I'm gonna try it. Whatever I'll die before I give up. So
This is true.
yeah, I mean, the second day I worked out here was the
death march.
The death march. You never did
We
it
did
again.
quarter mile of lunges.
With a weight, with the Viper.
400 meters of lunges, right? And you had to carry something.
The Viper thing.
You had to carry something.
Okay, well,
now,
that's what
you
you
carried
gave
one of the
me.
Vipers. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's a Viper?
Viper is like this tube. We used to have, I got a bunch of them from the 49ers from Jared.
Oh, those
actually.
red.
No, it
No,
wasn't
no,
that.
no.
Oh,
These are
okay.
smaller, like rubber tubes, and we had them anywhere from 10 pounds up to 40 pounds, I think.
Okay.
And they had handles on them, kind of like the strongman logs, but they're
Yeah,
rubber,
that's
and
what I
you
was-
can just throw them all over the place, whatever. But they were one of those things like I didn't have enough of them and enough weight in them. Like they just took up more space than I got use out of them.
Yeah.
So, anyways, yeah, Rachel carried one of those, and I think it was like a 20-pounder.
Yeah.
Like second day in the gym, and I was like, and I remember asking you like, "Oh, you sure you don't want something lighter?" And you're like, "No, this is fine." Like just being Rachel.
And it was like lunging on the cement, like through like on the streets and everything. And so I mean, I
walked
didn't.
fucking both ways uphill to school. Yeah, whatever.
Okay, first of all, I was sore for like a month and a half just from that workout. But like that's
Shut
what like
up. A month.
I swear. I mean, it was my first time working out at all. But like I was gonna say it was awesome because that's what hooked me, you jerk. But
She's still talking.
yeah, you started this. You told them I could talk.
So how many years away from competitive soccer playing were you when you started here?
Okay, so stopped that when I was 21. Yeah,
But you were
graduated-
playing indoor, and you were playing.
Yeah, I was playing on Sundays. I was playing indoor like twice a week. I mean, and I only have one speed. Like and that's why like I stopped playing those. I was just getting, my knees just can't take it. You know, just getting old. But no, I've had like major knee issues, and I was playing co-ed everything. Well, no offense to all the people who play on Sundays and like, you know, like off the wall and stuff, but a lot of these guys and stuff, they're not that skilled. So when you are playing, you're just getting hit, like, you know, and so I'm going to go in just as hard. And it was just getting to the point where it's time to cut it. And then I started doing this, and I just cut all of that and just started working out. And
So like once you started, right? Okay, so you know, give people kind of an idea here. Like once you started, you know, you were thinking, okay, I want to lose weight for my wedding, and then you kind of start lifting, right? And how long was it before you saw your body start to change, and before you realized, like, oh, like maybe my goals need to be a little bit, and I know like for me, like I'm that person, like I'll subliminally drop little things, you know, like,
Yeah.
hey, you should probably eat some more, and you know, you should probably, you know, focus on that lifting, and you know, and I'll put stuff in your head, you know, like how long was it before like on your own you started to realize like, hey, putting on some muscle, like I'm starting to get to where I want to go?
I think it was pretty fast for me. I think by the summer. So like
a couple
April,
months,
yeah,
right?
a couple months. I think I was like, oh, you know. Go ahead.
Just
Oh, you need me
There,
to come
right
closer?
there.
Oh, I thought you were saying
No.
say something.
I know, I thought Mike was going to say something too, like, what you got, man?
Yeah, I was like, so yeah, it was the summer, and you were helping me to like clean up my diet and
Yep.
stuff because I didn't eat enough at all. Probably even in general for not doing much, I probably didn't eat that much. And then I kind of dropped some weight real fast when we started because I wasn't. And then I started cleaning up the diet and eating enough, and I was like, oh shit, like I have to eat. And then that's once I started eating enough, because I was coming in within like 5 months, I started coming in twice a day.
Yeah, because you would come in because we were giving you some extra strength work to do.
Yeah.
Because you realize, and that's where it was, right? And you're like,
Yeah.
I kind of like, I want to get stronger.
Yeah.
I want to feel better, you know, so you wanted to lift more. And I remember going, okay, I'll tell you what. And we had a couple people like that at that time that wanted to do a little bit extra strength work. And it wasn't every day. I think it's like 4 days a week that we'd have you coming in doing a little bit of extra strength work. And I think you were the only one who was really taking it seriously and showing up every day to do it, you know? And then because I can remember food wise, like as, you know, and I wasn't your nutrition coach at this point, but like kind of guiding you and like talking to you about like, dude, you need to eat more.
Yeah.
Like we need to get more calories in you. And then I remember like I remember having the conversation with you and the light like turning on because it was like, we kind of got Rachel to start doing that. And it wasn't like an overabundance of calories where we were going crazy, but giving you just a little bit more food. And then all of a sudden, like your strength just started to shoot and you're like, holy shit, this is working. And then once the strength was there, it was like, oh, my body's starting to change. Anyways, go ahead.
Well, so, and like when you were saying what like finally like switched it for me, I think it was when I was gaining weight, which again, for women is really hard to understand. Like gaining weight, it's like that scale our whole life is like, we need that number as low as possible. Weighing yourself like 3 times a day. It's crap. Really, it is. So, I stopped kind of doing that because I was getting frustrated because I was gaining weight. But then I realized all of my clothes went down in size. And I'm like, okay, well, so something's working. And I looked better. I did. And so I was always that, sure, I could look really cute in clothes because I was just kind of skinny. And then it's like, oh, no, I look good all over now. Like, so, you know, so it's just funny when it switches like that, you forget about the numbers and everything. And sure, my pant sizes went down, but my shirts ended up going up within like 2 years because I actually had shoulders, you know, so it's a real, like for women, it's super hard to get through.
Well, and it's not just women, because I think Mike and I talked about this a little bit on the last episode. It's because I see it with women a ton. Right? I see exactly that scenario that you're talking about, but I see it with men and women who have lost a lot of weight. Right? And I think we were talking about this is where, say, you know, they're doing whatever and they're losing a ton of weight and they want to know the next step, right, to looking better. I'm just talking about aesthetics right now, right? Pure aesthetics, like how you look. And most of the time for them to look the way that they want, it requires them gaining muscle. So it requires them adding weight to their body, weight to their frame, right? Which is, for somebody who's lost weight, that is a hard pill to swallow. And I said that before, is once you've dropped that number down, it's scary to see it go back up because you're going, oh my God, I'm going back to where I was. And it's not that. It's, you have to, like Rachel said, evaluate other things. For me, the mirror is the best thing to do that, right? Like I can get on a scale every day, but the scale is going to lie to you. If I haven't pooped today, I'm probably 5 pounds heavier. You know what I mean? Like, or like, honestly, like I tell people all the time, like I weigh myself in the morning. I honestly haven't been on the scale in like 2 months, but if I weigh myself in the morning and then I weigh myself at night, there's legit a 5 pound difference. If I ate more fibrous vegetables the day before, a little bit more salt, I had a higher water intake. My workout was super intense to where I'm retaining a lot of water. I'm throwing a ton of stuff out there. If, you know, there's a bunch of different factors that are going to screw with my weight when I look at the scale. So don't buy it. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. It's a marker, but it's way down the list of things I want to mark off or look at as a marker. I for me, the mirror doesn't lie. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, unless you got a fun house mirror at your house, you know.
I got a couple.
No, but honestly, like that, the way your clothes are fitting, the way that, not just the way your clothes fit, but the way you look in your clothes, you know, and stand in front of a mirror naked. You happy? You know? Yeah. Like, honestly, like, shoot, man, like, those are some things. Anyways, go ahead, Rach. Keep talking.
No, I mean,
get me all fired up here about scales.
I was like, no, everything you said is, you know, true. It's hard because I was the different, you know, I didn't lose a bunch of weight and then, you know, gain. So for me, it was just, you know, no, I wanted that number to go down and it went up. I mean, so, you know, now I weigh like 150 to 155 pounds. I started 7 years ago here at like 130, maybe 35 pounds. It's a huge difference. Yeah. And I didn't gain a bunch of fat, you know, so it's like, that's really hard to understand, but I'm the happiest. I'm obviously the oldest I have ever been. And I'm math. And I feel like I look the best. I look like better than I did in high school and stuff like that. So is it time to go yet?
Yeah, not yet. You got a lot of talking to do still. No, and it's cool to see that type of progression. And for me, like as a coach, it's cool to see that light go off for people of like, you know, realizing things aren't necessarily the way that they thought that they were, and to see their perspective change on things, right? Because I can remember, like I said, you know, I remember weights, I remember people's workouts, I remember your first day deadlifting, me and you, I think it was a 9 a.m. class on a Saturday. Nobody else showed up. Maybe it was an 8 a.m. class on a Saturday. Nobody else showed up. So Rachel's deadlifting, 65 pounds on the bar, a bar and some tents, and she's struggling, right?
That's the picture I hate.
Yeah, and I have pictures of that workout.
The tiniest
I honestly
little
have
arms
pictures of that
in a
workout.
shirt I can't
She looked
even
like
wear.
SpongeBob, bro.
I literally, I mean, I couldn't even put that shirt on if I tried now. It would be too small. And my arms don't even fill out the little sleeve. Like, they're like stick arms.
Yeah.
It's so, I hate that picture so much.
Can we show people?
I mean,
if I can find those, because they're on my old, if I can find them on my old, old computer, because I think I used that picture before for like a before and after.
Yeah, I probably have it too because I know you sent it to me.
Yeah. I'll have to find that. I'll have to dig that up.
Like, and again, that is when I walked in saying I want to be skinnier.
I know I have a picture of you from the competition we did at Jeff's gym in Fremont at CrossFit Fremont. When we were still a CrossFit affiliate, we had like we called it the Husky Throwdown because that was our high school mascot. My buddy Jeff, me, Matt, who I talk about, we all own CrossFit affiliates. So we had the Husky Throwdown, right? And like each gym had a couple teams in it, and we did a little CrossFit style competition. But we had Rachel in that. She had been here for a month. So you did start in March.
Yeah, I think so.
You did start in March. So because that was in April. It was at the end of April. And I know I have pictures of that because I saw those not that long ago. They popped up like on my Facebook memories. I'm like, look at Rachel.
Well, that was the day that the 35-pound kettlebell
almost killed you.
Almost
killed you.
Killed me.
That and thrusters, wasn't it? Thrusters.
Thrusters was the one I geeked out on.
Yeah.
Because Nick was like, I'm done, and I was like, oh.
Yeah. Seriously, Rachel dug deep on those, dude. Like, just absolutely freaked out on them. We're like, oh my God, is this chick gonna die? I think she's gonna die. That day when you freaked out on those, and then when you did the solo competition that you ended up winning, like Rachel won a competition.
Oh, when you yelled in my face for
and she was doing deadlifts, and it was her and one other person that were like coming down to the wire. And it wasn't like 30 deadlifts at the end of this like workout where you row, you deadlift, blah, blah, blah.
It was a row, strict press, and a deadlift. And it was like 30 reps of like the strict and the
yeah, so she's going on the deadlifts. I'm like, don't drop the bar. And I'm just like in her face. And she's
in my face.
Full freak out. And she's like, oh, just like looked like Sloth from the Goonies, bro. Just
was it
crazy.
AMRAP or was it time? Like,
it was 4 times.
It was for time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she ended up winning. That was the final event. Mm-hmm. Ended up winning that and then winning the competition.
Damn.
It was the coaching.
Oh my God. He was like, seriously, and I'm not even exaggerating. I wanted to like cry because he's this close to my face and I'm doing deadlifts, right? And so you're
I'm just screaming at her.
Like he would probably at like football players. I'm like, what is happening?
You should take that as a compliment. Like, I don't yell at many people like that because they freak out when I do.
You yell at me a lot.
Again, you should take that as a compliment. Like,
no, it was awesome, and like he knows, and as being my coach for over 7 years now, or almost 7 years, that is how you like. I am that person. Like, you have to yell at me and like basically be like, you're being a.
It's almost 8 years.
I think it'll
be 8 because Dalton was a year old.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Anyways,
I don't know.
That was math. No. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, yeah. I think so.
7.
You sure?
Yes. Because it wasn't 2013.
All right.
It was 2000.
I'll go with that.
Yeah.
I'm good with it. Yeah. That'll be 2014 because that's when we were a CrossFit affiliate. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, so
Don't mind us.
why do you look confused?
Because I started in 14.
Yep. But you were later in the year, right? Oh boy. This is.
You had just gotten married.
Yeah, like that.
When I started, because I remember being in there,
2014.
and I was already there for maybe a month, and then you came back.
Yeah.
From Germany? Was it? No.
From
It
my
was
wedding.
just-
From like
To the gym. I don't know.
Didn't you guys go somewhere?
we went on our honeymoon to Mexico.
Yeah, that's what it was. Germany, Mexico. It's all the same.
Germany was like 2 years later.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was your like Oktoberfest
Yeah.
trip, like looking for tacos and.
No, the Mexican food in Europe is
You guys
terrible.
are really screwing up 2 countries. You know, I was born in Germany.
Were you really?
Did you know?
Shut up.
I
Okay,
swear
then
to
why
God.
is not the Mexican
So
food better?
the Mexican dude was born in Germany, and we're talking. Anyways,
It makes sense. It brought it in. It brought it in. Yeah.
I tied it all together. Let's end this.
my
Let's
God.
end this part of the segment there.
I call that a high note.
And let's go back to Rachel working out. So yeah, you started lifting weights more, right? And we were talking about that and how you're doing some extra strength training work, and your diet changed because like I'm a genius and you finally listened to me, and you started you started to eat more food. Primarily more protein, right?
Yeah.
That was the big one, and I know I talk about this a lot, guys, but eat your protein. What else?
Gave up. For food wise, it gave up wheat.
Yep.
That was a huge one.
Yep.
Or like almost all processed foods.
Well,
in
we started
general,
with
yeah.
you Whole30.
Yeah.
I know that.
Well, because I didn't know anything, so that was the easiest way
Right.
for you to kind of help me.
It's like, here, do this. Good God, don't do what you're doing.
Wait, macaroni and cheese every day isn't good?
Right.
Huh? Pop ramen? No? Okay, fine.
Rachel, did you eat today? I had an apple. Like,
Yeah.
no, Rachel.
Pretty much, that was me.
Yeah.
And I mean, it just, like I said, I'm that person once I saw like the weights going up, I was hooked. It was just, it was competitive. We were doing more of like, cause I was doing the classes. So I was doing more of the timed workouts where, times were going on the board and things like that. So I was pushing harder, but then you saw that I wanted more like
Strength. And, yeah.
So I couldn't doing that only an hour a day.
With that too, like I told you, I said that's where you're lacking. I said you want to get faster with your times and stuff than things that you're doing. You need to get stronger because one's going to help the other.
Oh, I remember what it was. It was over at the original gym
In the court?
In the court, and we were doing some sort of rounds for time or something, and there was dumbbell row, like just one arm dumbbell row on the bench. And you had a 40 as the RX for women. And I think Tara was using it. And, I came in and I went to grab it and you came over and you grabbed my arm and you're like, you're not there yet. And I was like, what? And so I remember that to this day, like, yeah, right. You're never going to say that to me again. So I think that was like, if you want like a memory of like exactly, that was like probably one of the ones.
Yeah, but and again, it goes back to, like, I think about coaching, right? And like you're one of the few that I could do that shit like that too, right? I could drop seeds, plant seeds like that, and you're like, motherfucker, I'm gonna show you. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people, and that's why I can't do it with so many people. They're gonna whine about it. Whatever. I'm not kidding, man. Like so many people, why are you so mean to me?
Yeah.
It's like Rachel's been an athlete her whole life. I can treat her like an athlete. I can treat her like guys that I used to coach in football. Like I can yell at Rachel and she doesn't get like butthurt about it. You know what I mean? It's like, it's that, sorry mom, if you're watching, it's the fuck you mentality.
Yeah.
And that's like, I used to say that with coaches that I coached with was like, don't get butthurt. Prove me wrong. Yeah. Show me. You know what I mean? I want you to show me that I'm wrong. And Rachel has that type of drive. And I know, like for you, like, we'll get back to the aesthetic side of things here in just a second, but I know that you are performance driven 100% too. And I know like as soon as you did start to see numbers going up, like, oh, I just hit, first time I was able to do a plate on a clean, like 135 pounds. I can remember that workout with you, like things like that. And like that is where you see that spark and that light in the eye and like it's eye of the tiger, man.
For
like
sure, right?
You see things change. With that being said, when you did start to see the weights go up, what did you notice changing with your body? Like what were some of the things where you're like, ooh, I like this?
I remember my shoulders, like actually, like I remember like getting, like,
you actually had some.
Exactly. And I remember like, I would just be out, with Sean or something and people would stop and be like, what do you do? Your shoulders look awesome. And I, never in my life has someone stopped and said something, you know what I mean? Like about like how you look. And that was
you a runner? Or?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Rachel gets hit on all the time, but guys are so stupid. Guys will ask her if she's a runner. I'm like, really? Really? Anyways, go ahead.
So, once it's like, oh wait, people like that. You know what I mean? Because not everybody has like definition, and I sure shit didn't ever have it. And so it was like, not that, I was looking for attention, but when people start to notice, because it was men and women, actually more women than anything would say things like that. And they want to know what I did. And it was just like, oh wow, like this is cool. Like that's awesome. So I think it was my arms because again, my legs have always kind of been, from soccer, like bigger.
Stronger.
I mean,
right?
I started growing a butt, like, so like honestly, like all my jeans had to change, like they had to become stretchy. So,
Are you wearing maternity pants?
Yeah, that's right.
Right?
And loving it.
Yeah, exactly. So
I was talking to Mike.
Yeah, and I was answering.
It was from the Big Macs. It was from the Big Macs.
we're all gonna need this after.
Oh, after
40
the In and
minutes.
Out? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I think, honestly, for me, it was really my arms, because my waist was always kind of small. I mean, I started to actually see. I've never, not that I'm ever close to a six pack, but I actually, saw some side definition, and that's been really cool.
Side abs, bro.
Yeah, I mean, because you just punch them all the time.
Yeah.
I used to just hang from a bar.
I used to
and
do
just
that.
punch.
So I used to do that to her and AJ all the time when we'd all work out together, right? But like AJ, I hope you're watching this because AJ is kind of a puss. So like I would hit AJ, be like, ow, ow. And Rachel's like, yeah, just hit me. And if it's going to give me abs, punch me. I'm like, oh, all right. Not like I was hitting Rachel that hard, but,
No, but-
AJ would puss out. And Rachel's like, no, if I'm going to get abs from this.
I'm
like,
all, wait, this
Do
works?
it.
So, yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so back to like the weights, right? And you lifting weights. One thing I will say too is this is where, and I'm just going to talk about Rachel for a second. Rachel is a person, and this is a compliment, so don't take this in any negative light.
Oh.
Rachel is a freaking pit bull, and what I mean by that is like not just no quit in a workout, but no quit period. Most people, and I see this with men and women, but more so with women, when things start to get really hard, right, and really challenging, they don't understand how to push through that. They're scared to push through that, right? That's where they think, oh, this is difficult, so I need to throttle back. I should probably, and I'm just talking about weights primarily right now, is like, I need to pull back. I need to lift less weight, right? Because they start to get scared, and they, I don't know if it's that thought of getting bulky or whatever. And that's what I think has helped Rachel beyond is push through, is she just has that mentality of like, okay, this is hard. This is where I need to buckle down and I need to keep pushing. Right. And she's always had that thought of, because I've seen you stalemate maxes, like have the same max for 6 months and not freak out over it and still put in the work to get better. Right. And still train hard. And then eventually you're going to break through that plateau. And a lot of it has to do with food. And a lot of it has to do with the way that we're training or switching up a grip or a stance or whatever to help you, and then come back around, circle back around to help. And then all of a sudden, those weights, you're getting stronger. And your body changes again. And you start to see more progress. So good job.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. It's not very often that I compliment Rachel.
This
So-
is recorded, right? It's
Yeah, we
everything
got
is like
that.
real.
Oh, my God. I forgot to hit record on
Oops.
this one.
I know, right? Well, and I think like, once the newbie gains, right? Like when you're first starting, everything's going up constantly.
Everything's awesome.
Yeah, it's like, this is the best. And then all of a sudden it's like that first time you go for that next max and, you didn't do it. And you're like, well, what's the point? Well, what have I been doing this whole time?
Right.
So that is hard to, to get through. But then, I mean, I've also, like you said, you just kind of tell me what to do. You know what I mean? So I don't even get a chance to think about it. Like, and that's, I've told you before, I think I've told everybody, I black out when I like lift. I don't think about anything. So that helps me. I don't overanalyze. I just go. So I don't think about if I fail, like I've gotten over that. Like, who cares?
Well, and that's good, right?
Yeah.
And that's like, I do the same thing during the lift. Like, and I relate this to like when I coach football, right? So I coached football for years, if you guys didn't know that. And I would tell kids the same thing. On Friday nights, I don't coach you, right? I'm coaching the game, right? I'm not telling you, hey, when you're doing this, I mean, don't get me wrong. You're gonna give kids some pointers and whatever. But if I have to coach you Friday night, I failed as a coach during the week.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is like, this should all be second nature at that point, right? You should know your job, what to do. Now, I'm going to help you with the physical along the way with little things, right? Little tips and cues or whatever. But it should all be there when you go to, like for you with the lift, it should all be there. You shouldn't have to think. You should know I need to like on a clean, like we're doing cleans day, right? This morning. I should know that first pull is going to be slow. My weight's in my heels. Now I'm going to accelerate. I shouldn't be thinking that as I'm doing the lift.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because then you're going to have that paralysis by analysis. Yeah, you're going to lock up. Everything's going to go slow. Your lift's going to look like complete dog shit, and then I'm really going to come unglued on you. You know what I mean? Like, So anyways, I don't know, I just kind of took over, started ranting, I'm mad.
He's hungry, I think.
Yeah.
What's the clock say?
I'm getting there. Yeah, so back to you again. Like, and as a woman, like lifting, right? So you've been lifting, like you said, we've been training for 7 years, right? We've been pushing you for 7 years. You've been like legitimately for 7 years, almost 7 years, trying to, I don't want to say get big, but like put on size and strength and muscle. How extremely difficult has this been?
I don't even understand why that's a thing. You know what I mean? That's how hard it is. Where anybody got that idea that
I'm going to get bulky?
Yeah, I mean, and I still hear it. Like if I tell somebody like, you know, we haven't really maxed in a while, but like, you know, when we were, and I'll be like, oh yeah, I hit this number or whatever. People are like, oh, well, how much higher are you going to get? Like, how big are you going to get? And I'm like, well, I'm not that big right now. You know, like
I am busting my ass to try and get big. Like, come on, man.
And I want to I think it's just because, you know, people associate working out with like bodybuilders, and that's it. You know, like if you work out, that's what you're gonna look like.
Well, and here's the thing too. Like, let's be real. You know what's gonna get you bulky is the food that you're putting in.
Yes.
Like you wanna get bulky, or you don't want to get bulky. Hey, reevaluate your diet. Well, stop eating crap food to go along with lifting weights. Because I don't want, if we have any power lifters watching this, I don't want them to take this out of context or get upset about it. But I always think about the power lifter who is legit bulking and trying to put on a ton of size and mass and whatever, and they don't give a shit.
Yeah.
They're lifting a ton of weight and they're lifting super heavy. And when I say heavy, I'm talking heavy.
Yeah.
Heavy. Most of the time. And those are the ones that are like, yeah, I'm gonna have some Pop-Tarts. I'm gonna have, my goal tonight is to eat an extra large pizza because I need the calories. And they don't give a shit about the diet. Like, when you don't give a shit about your diet, or you're not paying attention to your diet, and you're lifting heavy and you're like eating an overabundance of calories, yeah, you're going to be bulky. It's because you're being fat with the foods that you're putting in you. Knock it off. Well,
and I think that a lot of it, like for women, I don't even think they even associate that kind of bulkiness. You know what I mean? Like that's a different kind. I think that they like literally think like the muscles, like, you know, like I said, a body lifter. I was trying to think of what's the blonde CrossFit girl that's just like from Santa Cruz?
Brooke Ents.
Brooke Ents.
Brooke is a freak of nature,
exactly.
Though.
Like, but she is like, and so a lot of people don't want to look like that. She wants to, and you know, she looks great.
Honestly, let's be real though. Brooke is one of those, like, Brooke trains probably 5 or 6 times a day.
Totally. And
her diet is beyond insane.
Yeah.
Right? And she honestly is a genetic freak.
Yeah.
She's a genetic freak amongst CrossFitters. Like, you put her next to like all the other games athletes, she looks like she is stage ready for a bodybuilding show.
She absolutely does.
Where the other ones look like, oh yeah, you're fit, you're in shape, you know, whatever. Yeah. But like she's a whole different level.
Well, and so that's exactly what they associate it, because that's, you know, again, she does look good. I think she looks good. Do I want to look like her? No. If I would be probably lucky in my life if I ever could naturally, right. But you know what I mean? That's not what's going to happen. And I think that's exactly, as soon as a girl lifts weights, that's what people go to.
Well, because that's what people see. Like, so Brooke's been put in the spotlight, right? Yeah. So now all of a sudden, like, oh, that's the CrossFit chick. Like, that's not.
No, because if you look at the girls that win the games, like, honestly, in regular clothes, they look good. They look
great.
Fit.
Yeah.
They do not look like that.
No.
And so it's just, it's so hard, because I cannot handle when people say that. I want to just smack them, because it's like, no. Like, and again, but I never had thought that coming into this. But it's so wrong, and it drives the people who put in the work crazy when you say that, because you're almost like, negating, like, like downplaying what I'm doing because you don't understand how hard it is to look like that.
Right.
And
well, and it goes that goes for men too, right? Because like, so my physique over the years has changed, like from when I was younger to when I was, in my 30s to now and whatever. And it's kind of the same thing. It's like, I get it all the time. It's like, people think one of two things. Either the guys that lift a lot just think like, well, you run a lot, so that's why you're leaner. Like, no, yes, but no. Like, I think you guys are you're putting too many eggs in one basket. You think that's where my results are coming from, is because I run more than you do.
Yeah.
I run more than you do. I focus on my lifting, but my diet is dialed in. You know what I mean? And then the runners are like, well, you have more muscle mass and you look better because, you lift more. I do, but you're leaving that nutrition side of the equation out. I think that for a lot of people, they're not tying all those pieces to that puzzle together.
Yeah.
That makes sense?
No, it totally does. And that's why I think I get so frustrated with all those comments about stuff. It's like, you have no idea how hard this is in general to just say, oh, I don't want to work out because I don't want to look like that.
Right.
Easy. You think you're going to look like that?
Hold on, time out.
Oh,
Did you just say
shit.
beezy?
Yeah.
Oh,
Because-
shit.
All right.
So,
We just got a beezy.
We were talking, but I have, played.
You know what's funny? I'm going to stop you for just a second. You used the word beezy today. My wife used the word hyphy yesterday.
Okay, wait. I can't even imagine her saying hyphy.
Dude.
Wait, and what does hyphy mean?
Come on, Mike. You're from San Leandro. You're right next to
yeah,
Oakland. You know all about hyphy.
I'm not explaining that.
No.
Okay, I don't know what that means.
We're going to have you look it up on Urban Dictionary
Okay,
after. Don't worry about it. So
sorry.
she's like, oh, they're getting hyphy. I was like, did you just really say hyphy? And then Rachel just used beezy today. So anyways, back to Rachel time here on the Cast Iron Workouts podcast.
Well, I was going to say, I was going to say, I don't.
What were you gonna say?
I was going to say
We're
the
gonna say
B
these
word.
beezies out there,
Yeah.
getting hyphy.
I'm so going to start using these words all the time at you. And Tara's going to use them, so you're going to get them from both sides. It's going to be
Great.
awesome.
Great.
Anyways, okay, so back on track. I was going to say regarding like diet, and like we've definitely played with it over the few years. And so when I was doing the powerlifting and stuff, we did, I guess if you want to say I ever got bulkier than I am now, that would be then, right? Like I did. I just looked a
But
little
here's
bit
the thing,
fuller,
though.
but
That didn't have to do necessarily, like, your weight. Where was it? Right around the same that you are now.
yeah.
What that had to do more with was the sets, reps of what we were doing, right? Like, you were lifting heavy. Like, your calories were up a little bit.
Yeah, those
but
double
our
carbs.
goal was to put size
Correct.
on, I'm on camera right now, but basically, like, hips through legs. That was our goal. Like, you wanted to deadlift more. You wanted
Yeah.
to squat more, right?
Yeah.
And we accomplished that goal.
Totally.
And it was like, I mean, I want to say at Rachel's heaviest, she was pulling almost a 350-pound deadlift. That's a lot of weight for a little girl. Like, that's a lot of weight, right? So, but that took, how many days a week were we lifting heavy?
Every day. I like.
And
like
honestly,
4 to
and
5.
we want to talk calories. Like, I think we had you over 3,000 calories
Oh,
at
yeah.
that point. Like,
I-
easy.
Damn.
My carbs.
Easy.
I think I still remember it's like 286 grams of carbs a day.
Yeah.
Like that.
That was just your carbs. And
just
your
my
fat
carbs.
intake wasn't low.
no.
Like, I'm not a big believer in low fat intake either.
Yeah.
So, and I know your protein was high because I'm always going to tell you to eat
Yeah.
a ton of protein, So,
I mean,
yeah.
I mean, again, like I'm not that big of a person. That's a lot,
Yeah.
know. And so I just know, like we
You were
talking.
happy about it.
I was
Shut
so
up.
happy about it. I mean,
Like, you're like, oh, I had to eat so much. I was so sad.
I never ever said that. But
It was
then-
implied.
And then it was, reevaluating goals after we kind of stopped competing. We were just kind of like, oh, we're kind of done right now for this. It was, he's like, what is your goal? And of course, I always want to say performance based. I always want to say, like, I just want to get
She
stronger.
does this
And
every time.
And
yeah.
then I'm like, no, I want to look.
wanna look
I wanna
good.
look good.
But she doesn't want to tell me that.
Yeah, because it's you don't want to be like so vain, but like it's true. It's really hard to actually say those words, and so we switched.
It's
that.
okay.
Yeah, it's
And you know what?
I'm
For
okay with it
any of you
now.
guys that are out there, and this is like, I see this with guys all the time. I see it with guys more than I see it with girls, because girls are more likely to tell you like, yeah, I just want to look good.
Yeah.
Like you're not, because you're different in that mindset of like, because you work out with me too.
Yeah.
And I'm always chasing different numbers on different things. So I get that. But guys, like, hey man, like, let's be honest, fellas. Like, if you just want to look good, it's cool. You don't have to tell me, oh, I want to bench 500 pounds and squat 700 pounds. Like, you ain't got to lie to kick it, homie. Like, just say you want to look good. It's okay. You don't have to have a bench press that's through the roof. You don't have to have, you know, a 700-pound deadlift. Like, just be honest.
Yeah.
Be honest with what your goals are. Like, for real. For real. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, and then when we did that, my numbers went way, like, not like way down, but we weren't focusing on just now the strength and numbers and maxing. It was, you know, doing all sorts of different things. So that my food switched, my carbs went way lower than they've ever been for me. And then we were kind of doing like bodybuilder style workouts for a while.
Yep. And it was transitioning from one thing to another, right? And it was playing a little bit more of a role of, because, you know, you were still doing cardio like while we lifted, but not as much. So we were incorporating shorter rest times. You're starting to incorporate little, you know, rounds of things here and there for conditioning. Got you running and rowing a little bit more again. Yeah.
And, you know, and as much as I've liked both, I do enjoy this, you know, because we're always kind of doing a little bit of everything. And, you know, I don't program. He programs what we do. But, you know, we're always kind of switching up what we're doing. And so, I mean, I enjoy it. And so but again, another hard barrier in like my mind was when we decided to fix my squat. You know, we did small love and everything. I got up to like 300 for my back squat. And then all of a sudden now, I mean, I don't even know when the last time I hit 200. You know what I mean? Like, so because we've been trying, I have a funky knee. And so we've been trying barefoot. So it's just, you know, over the years, you know, we've changed different things. Goals have changed all the, you know, goals are always changing, but I guess it's your mind, really, like, especially again, maybe for women, but at this point, I don't really even think about it as like men and women goals. It's just like, these are my goals, be honest, and realize when you're working on something, those old goals in the past, you got to get rid of them. Like, you know what I mean? You got to get that mindset gone. So,
yeah, because that, I mean, in that transition too, like from where you were, like with lifting heavy and that being the goal to, you know, you still have performance goals, but, you know, being more aesthetic based with your lifting and feeling good and, you know, not feeling like you got hit with a hammer all the time because you were lifting heavy. I mean, when I say lifting heavy, guys, I'm not talking about like just typical programming here at the gym or through cast iron where I'm going to mix your heavy days with your medium days, with your light days. And I'm talking, we are lifting heavy to get strong all the time. Right. And being buried in that.
There's a lot.
Right. And, but it's a hard transition when you see those numbers where they were to where they are. You talk about a mental game again, right? Yeah. And it's like, God, I used to be able to do the weight that I'm using now for 10 reps and I can barely get 5.
Yep.
Or, you know, whatever. And that's a hard one. That's a hard one. Like I do that like with numbers that I hit when I was in my 20s. You know, that's tough. Like I'll get underneath, say 225 on the bench press, and I know I've been able to hit that 20-something times. And now I'm like, oh, I just banged that out for 8. Woohoo!
Yeah.
You know, like that was the other day, right? I hit it for 8, but I have to go, okay, you're an old man now. Not really. I mean, I'm not. So.
You're older than me.
Shut your face.
You're older than me too.
I hate both of you. No in and out. No in and out. Well, you guys did this.
I'm going anyway, so I'll get it for you.
Damn it. Yeah, so, you know, it's that like, okay, stop, be rational. You're 40 pounds lighter. Like body weight wise, I'm 40 pounds lighter than when I was at that time. I'm 20 years, well, not quite 20 years, but 15 years older than I was at that time.
Done a lot of math on this one.
I know it's hard for you. Just stand there, smile. So it's a hard, again, you know, it's a hard thing to accept. It really is. It's that
different body.
Yeah. Different time, different body, different goals, different everything. Like like for me, like I'm talking out my thought process with it. You know, I finished a set of 8 and I'm like, I'm pumped on it. And I'm going, yeah, that's good. And I'm going, man, but you were able to hit that 20 something time. And but I go, you were 40 pounds heavier. You know how much of a difference that makes in moving mass? Like, that's huge. That's absolutely huge. I don't ever want to be 40 pounds heavier again, you know? So it's all about where you are and what you want at that time, right? So back to you training, like as a girl lifting weights, what advice can you give to all of the ladies out there who are watching this and hearing, you know, that lifting weights, it's what the cool kids do, right? Like what can you tell them and advice you can give them as they go forward in their training and their lifting and whatever?
So if you're already starting it and it's new to you, stick with it. Like, keep going. Like you said, like, break that barrier. When it gets hard, I swear to God, just keep going. If you've never tried it because you think you're going to get bulky, I can just try it. Like, seriously, I mean, it's something we were never taught or told that was good for us, and it is so good for you. And it's, I mean, it's made me happy. I'm completely addicted to it, and yeah, just stick with it. Again, it's going to get hard, and you're going to want to quit sometimes. Do it.
What about like as far as like day-to-day training and trying to increase your weights?
Don't be scared to grab the other one and fail. Like, seriously, if you have 5 sets of 10 or
no,
whatever.
Hold on, time out. Safely fail, right? Like if we're using a barbell or something, use a spotter. Like,
yeah, no, but I mean, if you've been kicking it with the same one or the same weight, and you're just like, oh, I'm not sure if I could get all 10 of those reps in, something like that. Okay, we'll try and see how much, because most of the time you're like, oh, I didn't even know I could do that, because you get into a complacent place, and you're just comfortable. Be uncomfortable, like you've always told us. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. Once you realize that, you'll be just addicted to it.
Awesome. I think that's awesome. What about like as far as diet goes? Not that I want you to start throwing out a ton of dietary advice or anything, but is there anything that you could tell the ladies out there, like, to tie in with your resistance training that's going to help them?
Eat more fucking protein, ladies. Jesus. I mean, again, the same thing. I don't know where everyone was trying. My dad told me my whole life to eat more meat, but, I just didn't listen to him. He's my dad. So, it's just like, again, I hear like, I'll even watch, my sister, she knows all this. And then when I see her put like her meat on her salad, I'm like, put the whole thing on, it's just, and she knows, and she still doesn't do it. Cause again, it's just in our minds, like, instead, like, eat more of the lettuce, not the protein. Right. Ladies, pick the lettuce, eat the protein.
That's what I try to tell Madi, every now and then she'll get a little conscious of herself, and she'll be like, all right, I'm just going to do salad. I'm like,
no.
She needs to watch this.
No, Evan. Yeah. No, Evan.
Yeah. They're like corn and
it's like
iceberg.
Just, and I'm sure men do it too. I'm just going to eat salad for 2 weeks or something like that, and everything's going to be better. He does that?
Oh, yeah.
And then he'll post pictures of it. Like, I know I talked about this before, but Evan with his iceberg lettuce salad with some like poverty-looking dressing and like 3 pieces of corn. And he's like, oh, hey, he's like
Dust Bowl Ranch or something.
Yeah, for real. And it's like, and like the comment will be like, it's something like, oh man, time to get the diet right, like hashtag getting shredded. And it's like, bro,
grapes of wrath.
Stop it, bro.
Right? It's exactly it.
Stop it. You're eating like you're in a concentration camp right now. Knock it off, dude. Knock it off. Like, stop.
Wait, wasn't it an excuse? Like, he's like, I already ate the chicken.
Yeah. I'm like, bro, where's your protein? He's like, oh, I already had the chicken. I'm like, shut up.
Don't post the picture without it then.
You're 2 ounces of chicken breast. Kick rocks with that nonsense, bro. Come on, Ev, I hope you're watching this too. Make fun of you forever for that one.
It was so funny.
Oh, man.
So eat.
Eat protein.
Get
your protein, and that goes for you
just
guys.
Eat salad.
That goes for you guys out there too, Evan. Okay, make sure you guys are getting your protein in. I have a bunch of different people that I've worked with over the years, diet-wise, nutrition-wise, that I've done nutrition coaching for, and it always amazes me. Women Women always fall way under on that protein goal. Protein is going to help you with so many things, ladies. It's going to help you get stronger. It's going to help your muscles repair faster. It's going to give you that little bit of muscle. It's going to give you a fuller look to your muscles, which is going to look way more awesome than being like a melted candle, right? Like, yeah, you want that protein, okay? It also helps with your skin. It also helps with your hair. It also helps with your nails. Eat your protein, ladies. I cannot stress this enough. You know, ladies, if you want a woman's perspective on this who's a lot smarter than me, go listen to Dr. Gabrielle Lyon. She gives so much good information on protein and how much protein you should be eating, okay? She's a doctor who knows a lot more than me. Like I said, she's a lot smarter than I am. She doesn't just talk about women. She also helps a lot of former military and like highly, how do I put it? High stress jobs like within the military. She helps former SEALs and guys like that kind of get back on track and get like their hormones balanced and things like that. Anyways, she's a very smart lady. Very smart lady. Lots of great information out there.
Her name one more time.
Dr. Gabrielle Lyon, Lyon. Okay. She great info. Great info. So, you know, eating the protein, that's big. You know, like you're saying, don't be afraid to increase your weights. Like I was saying, you know, you don't want to put yourself in a bad situation where you got, you know, a barbell on your rack, no spot, or on your back, no spot or no rack, you know, but like Rachel's saying, if you have a set of 10 to do, you're going to know if you're going to be able to hit the 10 reps. Hey, try it with 5 pounds more than what you normally do. Say you only get 8. Well, you got 8, but it's still 5 pounds more than what you did last time.
Exactly.
Right. And that's that little bit of progressive overload that's going to help you get a little bit stronger. Right. And Mikey, you know, you've been training with me long enough to know I'll do that with you here at the gym. It's like, say I did program 10 reps today and I'm going to go, yeah, you know, kick the tires on 10 pounds heavier than what you've done before. And you go, yeah, I only got 8, but you still got 8. Yeah. Right. And it's still, now you know that you can do that weight, at least for a couple reps. You get used to handling that weight or having it on your back or overhead or whatever. You know, it just gets you used to having it. It's like with how, you know, like when we used to train, like for powerlifting and stuff, we do walkouts with a barbell. Mm-hmm. Okay, so say my max on a squat is like Rachel's was, you know, I think you were in the 250 range for a while is where we were kind of hanging out before we kind of broke through that. Yeah. So we would take, you know, if her max was 250, I'd tell her to put 275 on the bar, put it on your back, walk out, pretend like you're going to do a squat, set your feet up to do a squat and sit there and brace and hold that bar on your back. Get used to having that bar there.
Yeah.
Hold it for 20 or 30 seconds. Okay, re-rack it. Now put another 10 pounds on. You never squat it, but you get used to handling that. Yeah. So anyways, I think that's a big one, right? Is don't be afraid to increase that load a little bit. Eat your protein. What else? Anything else you got for the ladies?
I mean, start there and you'll be good once you do those things.
Okay, cool. Good episode, guys. If you guys have any questions for us, especially with all the stuff that we were talking about for either me or for the ladies, you know, or me or Rachel for the ladies.
You locked him up.
Dude, you did. You locked me up.
We're ready for that.
Give me a little final countdown.
On, let's go. I'm ready.
I was like,
I am ready.
That does not sound like real American.
12 minutes.
Okay, that's not my walkout music. But if you guys have questions for us, shoot us an email, castironworkouts@gmail.com. You can hit us up on Facebook. You can hit us up on Instagram. You know, you send us a DM, comment. You know, don't forget to like us on those. Follow us. You know, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Share this with your friends. Leave us a review. You got anything to add?
Go get the book.
Yeah, go check out my book. Whatever
Find
it
it
takes.
on Amazon.
Yeah, you can find that on Amazon. Rach.
Oh, okay.
Nothing?
Nothing.
You guys ready for In and Out?
I am.
Oh my God,
Yeah,
I'm ready.
that's all I want right
It's
now.
go time. Rachel's doing her little fat dance over here, just like.
I'm ready.
All right, guys. Hope you guys are doing well. If you guys have anything you guys need answered, again, reach out. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.